Well, the Sylacauga City School System in the city started back to school this week, and joining us this morning is Superintendent Dr. Todd Freeman. And good morning to you, sir. And
morning, Jimmy Dale.
Man, we've had a few days under our belt now. How's it going?
We're starting our 4th day of school, and it's been a good start, Jimmy Dale. We've got a good number of students that have returned to us, just a little bit more maybe than we had last year. So that's been a positive sign. I've seen some growth, particularly in our kindergarten ages, which is a good thing as well. But we've had a good start, a smooth start. Now, sometimes in that smooth start, there are a few wrinkles always, but we work through those, and we've got such good staffs in our school that take care of those issues. But transportation, child nutrition, all of the support areas are fully underway, and we're ready to start working this year and make it the best one we've had.
I guess changes year to year, right?
It does. You know, there's always legal changes you deal with. There's always code things you have to change depending on what our State Department does or our legislature does. So you have all those things inherently you deal with. But, you know, every year there's a new group of kids, so that brings new and unique challenges and opportunities. So you always have to be pliable and fluid and ready to adjust.
How many years you been here now?
Well, this will start my 4th year.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's why you kept your hair, right?
That's right. It was good that it was already gone.
There you go. Talk a little bit, give us an overview of the academic programs that the students at Sylacauga High School and the school systems can participate in this season.
Well, we're real excited, as we are each year, but we continue to expand our programs, and we want to see those always be growing in a comprehensive way. You want to provide as much as you can to the students' high-quality academic programs. So certainly our community is aware of our career tech, the strength at our high school and our programs in business, award-winning, perennial award-winning powerhouse in our business program, our health science program. We have a new family and consumer science teacher this year, and I'm excited about some things we're going to be doing in that program as well. And of course, our media program, our pre-engineering, all of those are fantastic. But then you go across the spectrum, and we also have a growing fine arts program. We added a staff member to that group this year that I'm very excited about to see some things take place. And then you can get involved in all sorts of athletics that I do think contribute positively toward the academic success of students. And I can take you all the way down to kindergarten and talk about some of the great things that are happening as we're working real hard to get even better and better at overcoming some of our challenges, such as the ability to read well by the time you get out of kindergarten, by the time you start taking standardized tests in 3rd grade. So we got some really strong programs and committed teachers working on that this year.
So much technology changes.
Yes.
I mean, the technology, what even in smaller grades, in the lower grades,
yes.
This is where it's at nowadays.
It is, and my wife gave me an iPhone. I guess it would be a 1. 3 or 4 years ago, and now I've moved up to 5 or 6, something like that. Those iterations just keep happening. So is the way with technology in our world. I'm really excited about where we're heading in our system. This year, our teachers are going through extensive training where we will be prepared to launch a 1-to-1, which means every student in grades 3 through 12 next school year will have a Chromebook in their hands. I think that is a fabulous move in our system, and we're taking a year to prepare. We will spend the 2nd semester piloting this 1-to-1 initiative at the 4th grade and 7th grade levels in our school, work out some of the bugs in the system. There are a lot of things that go, it's more than just handing out a computer. There's a lot of training, there's a lot of infrastructure, things like that have to happen, and we want to be well oiled and ready to go in August of next year. But that is a strong move for our system. It's a move that that simply must take place in order for our kids to get the most exposure to what technology can do for them.
What is STEM? Explain that.
Well, STEM is a word that you hear more and more when you talk about in the vernacular of education, and we're famous for using a lot of acronyms, but STEM simply means science, technology, engineering, and math. And so any of that encompasses what we're looking to do to grow those areas. Many jobs in our nation are more and more dependent upon your skills in STEM. And so our focuses have been that way. And I'm real encouraged about what I've seen in terms of growth in our math scores on standardized testing. It's been fantastic. There's some growth taking place in science. We have committed to a couple of programs that I think are transformational. One is AMSTI, another acronym, which stands for the Alabama Math Science Technology Initiative, that we have now in place in grades 3 through 8. And that's more of a project-based, hands-on, relevant learning experience for the math and sciences. That's a fantastic program, seeing good results already. The other program we invested in 2 years ago is Project Lead the Way. And Project Lead the Way is another science or STEM-based program that we provide to try to help our students excel in the math and sciences or the STEM fields. So when you add that to the one-to-one initiative that we have, I think we are fully in place and ready to move forward with preparing our kids for a STEM-related program.
This is, Dr. Freeman, and you know this well, a competitive world. Education is competitive. You know,
Yes.
we've got to keep our kids on the cutting edge for the future.
That's right, and we always have to be thinking about what the next step is. We heard a great speech last night. You and I were at the same event where the gentleman talked about his coach always thinking about the next step. And we must be thinking that, and that means usually the word change is involved. And so we're always needing to change and evolve, not for the sake of just doing something different, but to try to meet the needs of our changing societies requiring different things with our students. So we have to be a step ahead of that so our kids have an advantage when they walk out with a diploma.
Is there one or two factors that you can talk about this morning tying to the success of students that you can share with the audience this morning?
I think that, first of all, in Sylacauga, we have such a strong community support, both financially and the way we support our local schools. You can go to events on Friday night. You can go to ribbon cutting events, things like that. There's always great support for Sylacauga City Schools, but the real difference maker in a public school or in any school that you have is going to be the level of parent engagement. And that doesn't mean you need to know everything about what STEM means or how to solve equations or what the curriculum is in high school. It doesn't mean that. It means just authentic engagement with your child's learning experience. Now, the schools carry a great deal of responsibility for the education of our children, absolutely. But it is a partnership, and if I may use one of our political folks in our nation, it does take a village when we're working with our children. That's community, but that parent engagement piece or family engagement, whatever the circumstance may be, is a critical part. And if I have one encouragement for all of our folks in our community, is engagement is more than involvement. It's more than just showing up. It's get authentically engaged in how to help our kids learn and be successful. So we can do it as a team, and it's transformational when that happens.
Dr. Todd Freeman, our guest, the superintendent of the Sylacauga City Board of Education and our school systems here in the community. Been a lot of growth, a lot of physical growth, and of course, Matt Hubbard will be here with us Monday to talk about some of that construction work that continues to go on. Mm-hmm. I know you're awfully excited about where we are at this stage, though.
I am. When we think about providing the best for our students, I've mentioned a good bit about the academic program that I'm so excited about, and so excited about the leadership in our schools, moving us forward, evolving with the things we need to do. But you also have to support that with top-notch facilities. And it is very important to me that our students are able to go to a safe place that's warm or it's cool and it's secure for their learning. And it's an attractive place. And so we pride ourselves in our community that way. And as a result, our community is financially supported in a very strong way, the commitment to making sure we have excellent facilities. So all that to say, we're getting on the back end of what would be about 6 years of construction. And we're getting close to finishing, and I think by February or so this next year, we'll about have everything wrapped up. It's going to be so exciting to see what our kids can compete, where they can compete at, the venues they have, the classrooms they can learn in, all of these things. And, you know, we still will have to improve. We still have things we'll have to do facility-wise. It's ongoing always, but I'm very proud of the work that Mr. Hubbard has done, that our team in construction has done to get us where we are. And it's really exciting to go down Highway 21 to see a beautiful middle school to see a beautiful high school and a new stadium that's getting close to wrapping up, and some things that you'll see coming in the near months at Pinecrest out on 280. We want people to see quality facilities because that means there's a lot of quality in this community.
We're 4 days into the new school year, and would the word patient remain an operative word here this morning with parents getting their kids to school and being involved with the program?
Yeah. Jimmy Dale, that's exactly the word I would use in the beginning of school. It doesn't matter what school system you're in. I've been in a couple, but they're all the same. Traffic is really difficult in the mornings to start with. There are going to be always some issues with technology. It doesn't answer all the things. Sometimes it can complicate things. With changing staff, and we've had some changes this summer that have worked out very well. But all of that's still change, and you've got to get comfortable with new systems. So, yeah, patience is a virtue. I mean, that indeed is true. That is a good analogy to always use. Things with scheduling or what's happening in classes, it just takes a few days to get things worked out, or as I would say, unwind some of the things that can take place. But we're getting better, and I think next week we'll be sailing very smoothly.
Finally, this morning, our visit with Dr. Todd Freeman will conclude shortly. All of us, whether we're parents or grandparents, our number one concern is the safety of our children when they leave our home and head, whether they're going by bus or wherever, to school, and getting them through school and getting them home safely.
Yes, that's true. And, that's a partnership as well. My first walkthrough on Tuesday morning when the kids came back to the high school, this was first thing in the morning, and I didn't realize they were there, but the chief of police and some of his staff were walking the halls with our principal, Mr. Murphy. They're doing that every day. We have SROs in our building, school resource officers every day in our buildings, taking care and protecting our students. We've got 16 bus drivers that are fantastic drivers, and they are bent on quality and safety delivery, getting our kids to school and back home. So there's a lot that goes on to that, and it takes a lot of partnerships, including with the police and with fire, who do fire drills with our students. And there's so many parts of this to make sure when our kids come to school, they're safe, and mom and dad and family can feel like they're in a safe environment.
And Dr. Freeman, the new band director, he tires me just watching him with enthusiasm and energy he's got.
Yeah, our fine arts team, which there are 3 new members of that fine arts team all together. Mr. Morrell's one, Mr. Childs is one, and Mr. Jack Vest is one. And they are fantastic. They're young, enthusiastic, energetic, and I'm telling you, I'm excited about what we're going to see happening in our arts program.
All right. Dr. Todd Freeman, our guest this morning, the superintendent of the Sylacauga City School System. And Dr. Freeman, always a pleasure, sir, and keep up the good work. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me.